Timeless. Chapter 12. Shadows. It's not about a pony.
Shifting, are you about to ruin another one of my favorite poems?
Luna asked, head resting against the stallion's shoulder as they examined the old poetic tome in front of them. I mean, I can just not tell you.
I want to know.
It's not a fruit, I'll give you that. That answer did little to ease Luna's pouting, gesturing to a line in the poem.
This line has me suspicious.
Keep going.
And this? That could reference to something other than a lover's feelings.
Getting warmer.
Wait. Shifting, you said it's not a fruit. Is it a vegetable? Is it a carrot? The allegory of a cake. It means...
Shifting began to cackle. Luna's indignant expression was too much to bear as he tried to catch his breath. Carrot cake, yes! Shifting gasped, now leaning against his rather miffed mare friend as he struggled to breathe.
Oh, that is the 5th poem that you've ruined for me!
Luna grumbled, pouting as she levitated a currently offensive orange vegetable into Shifting's grinning mouth. After munching away the snack, Shifting's grin simply got wider, the stallion gesturing to the book again. You know that rather intimate poem, the one with figures of speech? That one would make any pony blush on mentioning the term grapevine. Same author?
No, don't you dare!
He really did mean grapes.
Is nothing in this book sacred?
Shifting finally managed to control his mirth, Luna's pouting features only making him smile wider. You asked, I'm just being your loyal cold friend. The two promptly dissolved into giggles and chuckles, a small magical chime then snapping them back to reality. Time for the reports, I guess. Shifting muttered, Luna sighing in agreement as they sat up slightly, shifting on the garden grass.
Aye, but at least we got an hour or two.
As the parchments appeared in front of them, the commander's eyes narrowed at seeing a few select passages. Looks like there's a nasty bug going around, cropped up in Manhattan and Baltimore. Some form of the common cold it looks like, but it's moving rather fast. A few hundred cases within a week. They didn't bother reporting it up until now because it's not terribly harmful, and they thought it was allergies at first. But I don't like that... That's far too many for a cold and far too fast.
Is it what the first wisher warned us about?
I don't know, but I'm gonna kick another order down the line and make sure the medical supplies factories are still spinning at max capacity. No deaths so far, just a lot of tired and sniffling ponies. A strange cure our wisher friend sent is still being tested in the labs, but they should move on to trial soon. If it works against this cold outbreak, then we know it is what we were warned of. We're still gonna get 100 doses every now and again, so the threat must still be out there. I'll keep an eye on it. Luna nodded, letting out a hum as she read her own report.
We can only hope otherwise. Oh, good. Twilight I visited my sister today. That should lift her spirits. Apparently she was quite miffed when she discovered that you destroyed the paw. Something about a loss of a priceless artifact. Apparently she's touring the evening nightlife before heading back later.
Shifting let out a snort, waving a hoof dismissively. That artifact was only good for getting one thing. Misery. He then paused, leaning over with a cheesy smile towards his mare friend. Well, maybe 2 things. The second being much more attractive and beautiful.
Oh, you...
She shoved him over with a shoulder, words not hiding the blush on her cheeks.
So how are the nights progressing?
Shifting shuffled through the papers, then grinned at the newest report from his trainees. Moving along. They've been training remarkably hard, impressively so. They've already run through the various lethal combat measures this week, and have been honing them for another few days straight. Salty Stone continues to impress me. She's definitely squad leader material. Bitterblade actually started teaching his first class of recruits the other day, and he was floored by the offer. But so far, it was a good choice. So I'd say as of now, you have a combat-ready squad of Lunar Knights. As of yesterday, I felt comfortable placing them on combat readiness, at least in case of lower-level emergencies. I wouldn't pit them against the Manticore just yet, but they're definitely above the average guard, and well on their way of being much more. We have 2 squads of Night Guard Thestrals active as well. Newbies and fresh out of training, but they're just as qualified as the Royal Guard. Luna nodded approvingly, standing up as she stretched.
That is good to hear. Too long have we gone without Lunar Knights, and I look forward to seeing them improve further, as well as the organization expand. I assume that you're going to check on them now?
Shaking his head, Shifting followed Luna back from the gardens, the two meandering towards the throne room. Actually, I was hoping to sit in on a session of the Night Court. They're just studying for a test today. I already instructed them multiple times on the practice maneuvers.
Oh, well, it will be boring, I think.
Meh. Then I get to sit next to my mare friend. Oh, the horror, the absolute tragedy, such time wasted.
Shifting.
Whatever will I do? Might I pine away in my heart as nobles flatter thy soul with meaningless words?
Oh no.
I shall swear in my knightly vow to top any flattery from such political barbarians. Thou should only have the best of words, the noblest of pleasing phrases to thy ear. Shifting proclaimed proudly, the two trotting into the throne room.
This is going to be a long night, Court.
Verily, thy ears shall ring with my praise.
Oh, stars above, Shifting.
Staring at the pile of treasure in front of them, an Earth Pony's ears flicked back, the dozen or so other individuals shaking their heads.
Well, the emissary came through, huh?
One of them piped up.
Not bad for a few weeks of teaching cons to fight. I'm surprised no pony got caught slipping that tranquilizer in a sunbutt's meal. Pity the one in Luna's was defective. Yeah, but was it worth Barley's life? That witch killed him for no reason!
A low chuckle reached their ears, the second in command of the group shaking his head, the pony being one of the oldest members. You don't get it, do you, son? He remarked, sitting down to examine a large emerald. Oh, there was a reason. That loudmouth just didn't see it, like you don't.
What reason then? So we mouthed off. Big deal. You don't kill over that!
No, but you do. The older pony mused, gesturing to the treasure. See some of those gold-plated swords? Those are older than our grandparents. That witch is from a different time, I think. Long ago in armies, do you know the penalty for public treason? For openly defying and questioning orders? Death, he stated flatly. Barley questioned her orders, integrity, and even threatened to tell some of the cons how bad her plan was. Now, she had a reason. Illogical by our standards. But if any of you lads had read a history book, you'd see the brutal logic in it. The group was silent, a few heads nodding knowingly.
But Princess Twilight, of all ponies to try and kill, and we helped.
A younger mercenary started in horror, the full reality of the past few weeks finally settling in. Put it out of your mind, the older pony barked, tossing the younger individual a golden bit. You took the job, you get to live with it however you see fit. Every pony has a limit to what job they'll take. Another voice piped up, the unicorn staring at a rather large diamond in his grasp.
And how will you deal with it? What's your limit?
The older pony let out a huff, casually stuffing his share into a canvas bag. This went beyond my limit the moment I saw 100 of those misty-eyed freaks staring me down like I was some kind of hayburger. I'm going to toss my weapons and armor off a cliff, live out my days in peace, and try to sleep at night. I'm done with this mess. As their second-in-command trotted down the mountain, the other mercenaries stared at the treasure. As the distant sound of a clock reverberated through the night, they knew the operation was about to commence.
Shifting, don't you dare!
Luna hissed as another petitioner left. Her commander had, for the past 5 rude nobles that had entered, whispered exactly what their garb made him think of first. Thus far, the descriptions had been less than flattering. Decorum aside, it had been a fantastic way to raise Luna's spirits. That said, it was exactly what she needed. The rude words otherwise carrying with them a bit more of a bite to her demeanor. Dead fish. A soft smirk left Luna's mouth, the alicorn shaking her head.
You're horrible.
Shifting grinned, eyes then narrowing as a hasty report teleported itself in front of his face. Apparently there's some sort of disturbance in front of the palace. Maybe some protesters? Any unpopular laws go into effect? Luna shook her head, prompting the commander's eyes to narrow, especially as some distant sounds grew closer. It was only when the clash of metal on metal reached his ears that the knight tapped his hooves, sending runes spiraling across his body. Luna, your armor! He hissed, then activating a small communications crystal. Night Guard, general emergency in the palace, report to supportive positions. Lunar Knights, emergency in the throne room, this is not an exercise code. Whisper on the wind. The communication crystal blinked, indicating all parties had received it, and then shut off, a dampening field activating. Armor weaved itself around both Shifting and Luna, the alicorn taking no chances. A helmet, greaves, and breastplate attached to her frame, a sword with a blade as dark as shadow itself levitating in her grasp. The final pieces of Shifting's own armor solidified into existence, his saber held at the ready as the doors of the throne room shivered. You two, stand back! Shifting ordered the 2 night guards, the recent graduates holding their spears with shivering grips. Stay close to Luna and make sure no pony sneaks up on us. Can you do that? He ordered, seeing 2 affirmative nods in reply. Remember your training. I didn't push you hard just to have you quail under pressure. Stand firm. The guards nodded, retreating to Luna's side with their spears at the ready, the doors of the room finally opening. 30 strong ponies flooded in, the ragtag group of ex-convicts having an assortment of weapons levitated or held in their grips. Their eyes were misty with a magical influence, each pony carrying a slight spring in their step. Hello, princess, the lead one called out, a burly orange earth pony with jagged pieces of metal strapped to his forehooves. Well, 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 5 of you over 30 of us. This'll be quite a brawl. Now then, let's have some... A soft snicker interrupted the monologue, gesturing to them with a saber. Is that all you brought? He laughed, then glaring at the leader. You'll need more than that to make the Princess of the Night yield. The convict blinked, clearly not expecting such a lackadaisical response. Uh-huh. You good? How much I know, Commander, but you're outnumbered 6 to 1. A familiar red crystal was tossed over, the anti-alicorn spell causing Luna to hiss, her own protective fields barely holding against the invisible onslaught. Have at 'em, boys! The ponies charged, a soft magical chime sounding in Shifting's ear, a readiness signal. Lunar Knights, defend the princess! He bellowed. Of course they would have something up their sleeve, but they're probably not going to get away with it. Anywho, let's get on to our loyal donators. Top donators are 630, Peter Coulthard, J Tinman, Darkside, and Only One Thing. Rayden, Narwhals, Blackmoonheart, Pastel Skies, Austin Roland, Crazy Killer 557, Stu Hex, Swordbrother Mortred, Amikon Lyre, Will, Chris, Twinkie, Dospo, Delta Omega, Jack Hadge, Runscythe9852, Madman Stan, Leslie Perkett, Drake Lovedragon, Hunter Norman, Stephen Bingham, Langa12, Sorcerer Constantine, Hudzaza, Conver, and many more fantastic people. Thank you all so much for watching this video and live life to the fullest.